Hello everyone, welcome to Film Recap. Today we are going to watch movie name called Circle. When the film begins, people are shown standing in a circle unconscious as a faint light turns on. A young woman awakens abruptly. No one responds when she yells. A buzzer rings as she attempts to move in front of herself. Standing on a red circle, she realizes. The buzzer rings again as she tries to move behind it. The buzzer also rings when she tries to touch the soldier next to her. Her hand has a luminous circle on it. She is told to cease moving by a man across the room. "Thee can see us," he claims. He can only guess the answers to the questions she poses. Another woman wakes up, panicked. She moves when he tries to calm down her, and she is killed by an electric beam that shoots from the center of the crowd. One man dies instantaneously as the lights abruptly turn on and everyone awakens. As a police officer searches for his gun, the first man orders everyone to stop moving. He orders everyone to remain motionless and to avoid touching anyone. One of the men who was killed is hauled away while his hand glows and there is a beeping sound. The first man is killed before he can speak again as the beeping keeps up and the electrical charge begins to develop. While everyone is trying to settle down, the man in the hat discovers that he is in charge of the floor lights. A woman is zapped by the electricity when the light stops in front of her. The man with the hat instructs the others to see how they can switch the floor lights as they inquire about what's happening. After following his instructions, everyone tries, only to discover that they can only see the light they are manipulating. According to the hat guy, they decide who perishes. Another victim is zapped as the beeping begins. As the expectant mother glances around to see what's going on, the beeping resumes. She claims that they are genuinely voting as the electricity zaps once more. She claims that they are closing their hands and eliminating the person who receives the most votes. As the beeping begins, someone offers that they all vote for the deceased, and they all agree. Regardless, someone gets zapped when it stops. They all attempt not to vote the next time it beeps. The pointer lights all turn on at once, but someone is still zapped. The man in the blue hoodie orders everyone to keep silent and advises them to devise a plan, so they may assess their circumstances and put an end to their predicament. His recommendation was to murder the elderly first. Hat guy agrees, but not everyone else. According to Blue Hoodie, they ought to eliminate them clockwise, beginning with the first one on his right. No one has a better suggestion, but the pregnant woman disagrees. The first elderly man begs as the beeping continues, but the zapper gets him. The majority tries to understand what's happening to them because they agree with the Blue Hoodie's approach. The soldier is as perplexed as the others, but they question him in the hopes that he might know what it is, an alien invasion perhaps. There, a man in the back begins talking about his memories of the time before he woke up. He recalls sprinting before everything turned dark after becoming caught in a traffic gridlock. Others claim to recall the same event. They vote for the second elderly individual as the beeping resumes. He recalls getting hauled up in a ship. Additionally, he recalls a red chamber filled with heaped bodies that, in retrospect, he believes weren't dead, but genuinely under the influence of drugs. As they carry on talking, they all cast their votes for the third elderly person. The fourth elderly individual claims that he also recalls something, possibly the aliens' speech patterns and their appearance. But they assume he is lying to protect himself. Some of the people don't believe him. However, he is zapped. Who will be the next person in line to get zapped? Asked the hat guy. They ask the hat lady how old she is while pointing to her. The others' opinions are altered by the fact that she is just 52. She informs them that although she had cancer, she overcame it. Blue Hoodie believes she have to be the next to pass away because she has a higher chance than the others. That's not true. A doctor interrupts. She needs to go because she's over 50. According to that blue sweater, yet some of the others disagree, speculating about the ultimate age restriction. To no avail, Blue Hoodie tries to persuade them of his plan. They murder him. The woman with cancer advises them to begin determining their selection for the circle. However, some of the others believe that the situation was purely coincidental. They have to make an effort to get to know one another better, she says. Beth introduces herself to the others first. She is zapped when the beeping resumes as she speaks. Following that, the majority of people believe that they shouldn't reveal their names, and they're worried about disclosing anything else as well. Regardless, Craig continues, stating that his wife is the woman on his left. A man from the rear says he knows the doctor when someone asks whether anyone else knows each other. However, neither of them wants to disclose how they know one another. Craig goes on, pleading with everyone not to murder his wife. Another zap occurs as the beeping persists. The Hispanic man is then asked to talk, but he is unable to grasp English. "I'll translate," offers the woman behind him. He responds that he has 3 daughters in Mexico when she inquires about his family. The man in the flannel shirt asks the red tie man if he would need a green card to be kidnapped by aliens after he starts talking about illegal immigrants. He responds negatively when they instruct the translator to inquire as to whether he was in the US lawfully. To the astonishment of onlookers, a young girl in the front row is zapped by the continuous beeping. A man in the front row is identified by the police officer as Raul because he assaulted his own girlfriend. The woman with cancer asks him if he is certain it was him. Raul and the policeman's conversation turns into one that is more about prejudice and profiling than it is about what he might have done to earn the cop's acquaintance. He claims that his girlfriend received what she deserved as they begin to question whether he actually beat her up. The next time Raul is zapped, the blonde in the front row then remarks that perhaps they should determine who is good and who is terrible. The man next to her disagrees, stating that perhaps their purpose is to murder one another in front of the aliens. She insists that there must be a reason for their presence. The blonde man behind her, however, takes her question as an attempt to determine who is worthy of life. As the beeping goes on, they ponder what they ought to use as a basis. The Muslim woman in the front row gets zapped. The African-American man initiates the conversation by posing the racial query. At first, the white folks claim that nothing is fair in that room, and the other African-Americans advise him to stop talking, because doing so will just make him a target. Hat guy agrees with them. People's true feelings about race are revealed by the question. The next person to speak is the police officer who displays his bigotry and racism. The cop dies, the beeper goes off. The African-American guy argues that everything should be discussed, despite the soldier's belief that they shouldn't discuss their beliefs and biases. The interpreter and the soldier advise them to attempt to understand what is happening to them, rather than turn on one another. They attempt to vote for themselves the next time, but it is unsuccessful. Thus, they attempt to vote for their neighbor. Because someone made a mistake, someone still gets zapped. They try the same thing again, and the pregnant woman helps the kid next to her. Suddenly, the pregnant girl and a man are chosen, so everyone votes again. The man gets zapped. The guy from the back says he voted for the man because he saw him voting for the pregnant girl. He says that the way the game was designed, in the end it will get down to the pregnant girl or the kid. To that the blonde guy from the second row replies that, if they get rid of them, everyone will have a better chance. The guy in the flannel shirt says that it should be one of them to walk out, but Red Tie disagrees. Council lady says that the pregnant girl counts as two people. When the voting starts, the older woman and the child are tied again. They support the woman. The man with the glasses wants to know them first, but the soldier and the gentleman in the rear believe they should protect the two of them. When the voting starts and there is another tie between the child and the pregnant girl, he quizzes the child. The man behind them orders them to be killed, but he is zapped instead. Craig says they have to recruit volunteers. After going around the circle without anyone stepping up, an adolescent finally offers to help. They debate whether or not to question him on why he would do it. He finally responds, stating that he has no intention of killing anyone. He's a child, so it's unfair to let him do it, according to the flannel shirt. When the man in the red tie and glass man disagrees, they ask him if he's certain. He is replaced by an elderly man from the rear, and as soon as the beeping begins, he walks off from his circle. Although they are unwilling to undertake it themselves, red tie and glasses continue to suggest that they should recruit volunteers. Everyone but the pregnant girl should come forward, according to the flannel guy. After the beeping, Glasses asks the teenager if he still wants to do it, and he passes away. Everyone then anticipates that the soldier will volunteer. He believes he has made enough sacrifices in his life, so he doesn't want to. He is eager to see his child and return to his family. They are waiting for a volunteer as time is running out. Because she lost her son, a woman from the back does it. She will meet him again, the deacon assures her. She leaves her circle after saying farewell. When they learn that he is a deacon, the man in the black suit agitates him. Finally, they get to the subject of religion. They now have just one deity, and that is the Zapper, the man in the black suit informs them. He becomes enraged and searches the circle for the other atheists. He believes they will all pick him when the beeping begins. He is selected together with another girl. She receives a zap. He asks the blonde next to him if she is a porn actress, further upsetting everyone. He continues to push her and upset her even after she says no. He passes away during the subsequent voting round. As the blonde sobs, the glasses man suggests that they consider whether some of them are parents. Craig claims to have a daughter with his spouse. According to Glasses, those without children ought to give up their lives. A woman from the back answers a red tie man's question about if she has a husband or children. Another girl is zapped as he's responding. They learn that the woman is lesbian after she shares her life story with them. Red Tie dies in the following voting round because he is obviously a homophobe, and the other candidates find his remarks offensive. When there are only two left, the blonde guy asks what will happen. Are they going to tie? The man in the back implies that one of the two would abstain from voting, so sacrificing themselves. The cancer lady suggests that they choose the flannel guy, who claims he would sacrifice himself. someone they would have faith in to make the best choice. No one can be trusted, according to the translator. They should all make a decision. But the blonde guy replies, what would happen if it were just the two of them? The blonde asks. They may make the decision for them, the doctor argues. She and the man who knows her are tied in the current voting. Together, they pass away. The soldier believes that the blonde man is merely trying to manipulate everyone to get rid of the child and the pregnant girl, but he is certain that they should determine who should die. Glasses asks the pregnant girl what she does for a living after Craig asks them which of the two they would pick, as he goes on to say that it's critical to determine who among them makes a greater contribution to society. The others don't think the issue is reasonable. According to the translator, the fact that she is pregnant is what matters. When a new voting round begins, Glasses agitates the expectant girl and kills the hat guy. Glasses responds that he is a banker and a contributing member of society when Flannel asks what he does. They're all annoyed by Glasses, but the translator gets zapped. When the man from the rear claims that one side killed the translator because she would never vote for the child or the pregnant female, most people assume that the Hispanic man should be the next to be elected. They begin counting each other to see who is standing where now that the issue of sides has been brought up. Which people will cast their votes for the girls. The child and the Hispanic man are tied as the vote starts. He gives his life for the girl after realizing what is going on. The soldier becomes agitated with Glasses and supports the group that wishes to murder the two females. The African American man and the couple support him and the blonde guy. Voting begins. Once more, the child is wearing glasses while in a tie. According to the blonde and African American men, they should both be allowed to die. However, the wife changes her vote, so only the Glasses die. When they discover it was her, she claims she didn't alter anything, she simply didn't cast a ballot. According to the flannel guy, everyone knows that they will die and that it is preferable to pass away with honor. Craig believes he is suggesting that the pregnant girl should stay last and the child should perish. When the blonde man is unable to win the blonde woman around to his cause, he says to balance things out and have more time to discuss everything, they have to vote for the flannel guy. The flannel guy wins their vote. The soldier proposes that they vote for the wife in order to test the husband after they attempt determine the majority for each group. Craig changes his vote at the last minute, and the soldier declares that everyone votes for the African American man. In an attempt to turn everyone against Craig after his death, the blonde man becomes enraged with him and accuses him of not even being married. They all begin questioning them, but when one of the women requests his name, the wife gives in. She can't even recall the last time he said it. They kill Craig despite his admission that it was her idea. The fictitious wife assures them that she spoke the truth about her child. Despite his constant reminders that everyone is a murderer, the blonde man pledges the wife that he will keep her alive if she joins his side. When he asks the elder man which side he supports, the man remains silent. Then, taking advantage of her sentiments toward her family, he invites the woman next him to accompany him. A five-way tie between the blonde man, the soldier, the cancer woman, the blonde woman, and the homosexual woman starts and finishes the voting. After the revote, just the blonde guy is left. While the deacon is in tears, the blonde man proceeds with his plan, and then requests the pregnant woman's vote. She says no. Regarding the strategy, the man at the back remains in his place. After expressing regret to the expectant girl, the deacon leaves. Both the blonde and the guy in the back understand that they would have to alter their tactics. The blonde man then offers to give him the fictitious wife in exchange for one of the females. Everyone casts a ballot. With the exception of the elderly guy, the spouse passes away. According to the man in the back, the elderly man made it all the way to where they are and never cast a ballot during the entire event. He is the subject of an argument between the blonde and the person in the rear, with the former leading the other to believe that they will all vote for the older man. However, he and the expectant girl have a consensus regarding the candidate they would support. The blonde man is killed by the zapper. There are just 4 left. Since they have no other option, they will all vote for the elder man this time. He died. When he is left alone with the 2 girls, they discuss the cause of everything. According to him, it's possible that the aliens are experimenting to learn more about human nature and priorities. When the expectant girl questions why they would force them to kill one another, the man responds that by picking the victim, they can observe how people view and evaluate one another. He then informs the 2 girls that he cannot pick which of them will die, they must choose for themselves. The child sobs because she has made up her mind. For the baby's sake, she will go. He assures her that they will go together, but he votes for the pregnant female. At the last minute when the child leaves her group, the pregnant mother and the girl both topple over, but he remains imprisoned in the room. He curses the aliens, believing they would murder him nonetheless, and does not cast a ballot as another vote starts. He discovers that he is bound to the infant and must decide between the 2 of them when the beeping stops. He decides to let the infant die. He awakens to the sight of a spaceship outside. He notices that there are multiple of them when he gets to his feet. Knowing what he would do, if he made it to the last round of the voting circle, he played every person in the room. He rescued himself. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to see more videos like this one. Enable notifications.